to fourth.
Oh, here we go.
On a 4th and goal.
4th down and 20. 4th and 21.
Right,
Not the
what
way
do you
you
got?
want.
A lot of stuff in the sports world. What do you got?
Oh, there's so much happening right now.
There is.
So first of all, I just want to point out Dawson's shirt he's rocking today. The University of Montana Grizzlies. I don't know if you saw DraftKings. They actually
Tommy
posted
Running Rabbit.
Yeah, Running Rabbit. They said the best last name in college football. Did you see how many letters are on the back of that jersey? That was great.
Like, does a little.
Oh, that was great.
It looked like a.
So got his first
like a basketball
touchdown.
jersey.
The Grizz just annihilated. I don't even know who they played. It was their last cupcake. But
They're playing good though. Who'd they beat?
Scored
They
like
beat
70
NDSU?
points. I don't know. They blew them out of the water.
Hey, North Dakota State is a good
That's what I mean.
team.
Oh, they beat them. That was a great
That's a
win. But
good
they had
team.
one cupcake this weekend, and now the real season starts. So
They're playing
okay.
good.
Okay, so I want to go back and talk about one of the guys you talked about a little bit earlier. So Jaxson Dart officially named the starter.
Yes.
You guys have been saying this for next week, for this week for the Giants. How you guys feeling about that?
You want to know what I think? The Giants are doing the same thing that all bad teams do, and they sign a veteran quarterback. They say that he's going to start the year.
Yeah.
You want your rookie quarterback to sit. Said veteran quarterback doesn't play good because he's way past his prime, and everyone else but you saw this coming. He's starting in week 4. Pretty much like every other iteration of rookie quarterbacks for the most part when this happens.
Yeah, this is what the Cleveland Browns should do. But to go to the Giants, I think Dabo went into that office and said, look, I still want to have this job. And if
Russell Wilson's going to lose me this job.
If you make me play Russell Wilson, he's going to get me fired. So can I please play the quarterback that we drafted in the first round to show you that we have potential and I can keep my job?
Yeah.
That's what happened.
They have the hardest schedule in the league anyways. I mean, granted, those are records from last year going off. But I think you needed to start Dart. It's
going to be
your
fun.
season's not going anywhere. You have a good defense. You've got a great defensive line. And yeah, you just need some life on offense. And Russell Wilson throwing moon balls every time you need 5 yards
Russell
on 4th
Wilson,
down is not going to cut it.
Well, you said it after that game. You said, I think we just watched the last snap that Russell Wilson might ever take in the NFL.
Yeah, he won't even be a backup. Like,
There's
he's
no
done.
way.
This is his last.
Well,
No
and
way.
it's awesome. Look, I bet Jaxson Dart to start 4.5 games this year.
There you go.
It's week 3.
There you go. You're going to hit it.
Hopefully we can pencil that one in as a green check mark.
Hopefully.
But
Okay,
yes.
let's stay with the Giants though. What in the heck is it about the Giants trading players? Then they go off and their career takes off. You got Saquon Barkley,
Xavier
now Daniel
McKinney.
Jones. I mean, what is going on in New York?
Xavier McKinney, too, last year, the second he left the Giants, led the league in interceptions on the Packers.
And it
So
also
that's
goes into play of what Malik Neighbors said last year when everyone was questioning Daniel Jones.
Not
He
even this
said-
last-
He
yeah.
said it ain't the quarterback.
Yeah.
It ain't on him. I promise you. Well,
You're finding out.
you're finding out, and maybe like you just said, some of the big names, Saquon to say one, McKinney. Now he for the Packers playing very well for that secondary. Yeah, it's got to be, and this is kind of why not worry, but why Dable is probably just like fuck, like I'm getting fired regardless. This ain't working, and it's
Pretty
a
much.
dumpster fire. But yeah, no, it is funny. Especially like with the whole Baker thing too, of Baker going to the
From the Browns
from the
to the
Browns
Panthers.
to the Panthers, and then all of a sudden he
Rams.
goes to like a competent organization that kind of knows what they're doing. And look what Baker's done the past couple years. So yeah, it's got to be a Giants problem with all these players.
I think it is too.
It is.
I think it is too. Okay, so Jake and I were talking the other day about Clemson. I mean, there's probably not a bigger team more upset than Georgia Tech that Clemson keeps losing, just taken away from how great that win was.
Yeah, I know.
But seriously, though, what happened? I mean, they look horrible. So here's what I think. I think
didn't use the
Dabo has
transfer
3
portal.
options. Dabo has 3
surprise.
options, and I want to hear what you guys think. He should retire like Nick Saban. He could get fired, or he could stay at Clemson, embrace NIL and the transfer portal.
He's
What do you
too
think?
proud.
Well, he's
to
already
embrace
said he's not
NIL.
going to retire because he said he wants to coach because he made a whole big deal of I'm only 50 years old. What do you think I'm going to do? I still got a lot. So that's not that. I checked that one off. Getting fired from Clemson,
Probably not going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen either because I think Clemson will view that as it's going to take way more to rebuild after firing a coach.
Unless you bring in Nick
Unless
Saban.
you're-
If I was Clemson, though, I would literally go in his office and say, look, we understand that you just, for some reason, don't like using the portal,
You want to be the same
wanna
as
be-
Army and Navy and Air Force. We get it.
but you have to start using. Maybe not, 20, 25, 30 plus new players from the portal. But like if you can get one or two guys, I don't see anything wrong with
a lockdown corner, a stud pass rusher.
You're not
better than anyone else. Everyone else is doing it.
Yes.
And you're seeing exactly what I think most people saw is that this is how you win now in college football. Well, it's not going to change.
This is why Nick Saban retired, because he kind of was a Dabo type coach to build within, develop. And Nick Saban was like, I tried it. It just is not for me. And he got out of it. Mm-hmm. So Dabo, you're either, if you still want to coach, and you've said that, you made that very clear, you need to adapt. What is the classic
Innovate
saying?
or die.
Innovate or die. Yep. And if you can't do that, you're going to slowly get passed up, and you have been. Mm-hmm. You stayed with even your quarterback, your fifth-year quarterback, and he's played like absolute shit against teams that a fifth-year quarterback should be putting up points against. Yep. And then complaining about, the other team was faking injuries because they were slowing our drives. Yeah, they got fined for it, and maybe that's what they were doing, but that's what you're worried about?
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're worried about after the game. So to me, it's just a bunch of guys who think that they're better than innovating and into the rest of the competition.
My way's proven. It worked 10 years ago when I won the Natty, so I know it works.
Yeah.
That's
we know. Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about fantasy for a minute. So my fantasy team has been decimated. I mean, I've got the guy, listen to my injuries.
Was telling me about
James Conner, Najee Harris, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Fields, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler. I mean, I'm done. Like, my season's over. So what is up with all these injuries, and how are your guys' teams looking?
I saw a good take that until the NFL bans artificial turf, you are going to see more ACL and Achilles injuries because players are going from grass to turf, grass to turf, grass to turf. Grass has a lot more leeway and give for your tendons. On turf, you're running a lot faster, but there's nothing supporting your feet. Nothing. It's just concrete underneath rubber.
There's a little bit but not as much as grass.
Yes, and when you're cutting, you're putting much more strain on your body to do the moving instead of the grass. Kind of, you slip a little bit on the grass. You're planting in turf.
There's more give.
There's more give.
Well, Dawson, I mean, you can obviously speak to this because you
playing on a good
you played the majority of your
field.
College on turf, right? But a little bit on grass.
I mean, now I know it's kind of a financial thing, as most high schools, most colleges can't support it.
Yeah, but you're the NFL.
You're the NFL, yes. But to my point, I would play on a very nice, treated, sanded grass field over a turf field every day of the week.
Yep. I'm sure everyone would.
NFL, I've been an advocate for this. You're the NFL. You make billions of dollars. You should require every single team, every single facility to have a grass field.
You're putting guardian caps. The NFL is so worried about concussions. Why don't you pull up the data on how many more injuries happen on turf compared to grass? That would give you the answer.
It's one of those things, head in the sand. They don't want to.
But even if it's
it's hand in the rubber or head in the rubber. They don't have sand.
Even if it's the same though, like if you care so much about this, you should care equally about this.
That's what I'm saying.
About both sides of it when it comes to concussions versus lower leg or lower extremity injuries. Mm-hmm. So to tell you though, my team.
Yeah, how are your teams looking?
Fortunately, fingers crossed, I got out unscathed.
I've been really lucky with injuries so far, actually.
Very, very, very lucky with injuries.
I've been very lucky. Besides, obviously, I've had the first pick, so I have Jamar. But I'm not necessarily worried about Jamar. He's going to get his targets. And they played one of the best defenses in the league last week. Brian Flores, I saw clips of the Vikings defense against the Bengals. They are showing cover 2 at the start. And then halfway through the play clock, they switch. Half of the field is in quarters, the other's in cover 2, and then they switch again before the ball's snapped.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how the hell are you supposed to dissect that unless you've been playing in the league 15 years?
It's hard. Well, and to go to, I also have a lot of, I drafted and picked up a lot of players that I was like, hey, if this running back gets hurt, he's the backup, he'll be the starter.
Yep.
So I've got a lot of leagues, too, to where, Trey Benson for the Cardinals, I have him in a couple leagues. I drafted Hampton in one. Now he's going to be taking over the fullback field there, so that's great. So I've drafted a couple handcuffs, too. I've also got Robinson for the 49ers, just in case
the one mistake,
McCaffrey goes out.
And I told myself before I drafted, I just forgot to even take him in any of my leagues, is Jordan Mason. And I had him on my list.
Yeah.
Jordan Mason was my pick, and either missed out on him or didn't take him early enough. Same with Roma Dunze.
Yeah.
Both players I'm missing.
So, yeah, I have gotten very lucky.
That's
on
good.
fantasy
It's good to know. Well, not so much with me. Okay, so let's change gears. I'm going to talk about baseball for a minute. The Braves.
10-game winning streak.
So
Too late.
10 games in a row.
Too late.
But we've been eliminated from playoff contention a few weeks
you can
ago,
root for
right?
the
But
Mets
we're
losing,
playing some
though.
good ball right now. Where was this in June and July? And my question is how much hope does this give you for what we've got in place for next season?
I wouldn't say hope. I would say it gives you a little bit of a boost to finish out the season like this going into next year. And getting all your players back, some of your pitchers, because I know we've been decimated in that realm. We still have the Austin Rileys and the Matt Olsons and the Aussies.
Still have a young core.
We still
Got
have a
good
young
rookies.
core that we have paid. So I think there's hope, and this is showing
Gonna
that
need to spend some money
this.
though.
Yes, we will. This team can win, and it has been kind of nice to go. Hey, we can end this year on a nice 10, maybe 12, 13, 14 win streak and go into the offseason and feel confident about that. I do think we're going to have a manager change, whether that Snicker steps down or Snicker gets
What
fired.
it needs to be is a coaching staff change, not just a manager
Well,
change.
and the Braves
you gotta
have been-
switch out your hitting coach, your pitching coach. If you're committing to a reset, commit to the reset.
And the Braves have been just so bad at they only hire within people who have been in the organization. And that's across the board, I think, with baseball, to where it's just so...
They have a grass isn't always greener kind of mentality, and that's not always true. It happens a
So
lot. when you
I'd
find
say,
someone.
is it cool? Yes. Does it not matter? I think the more important, like you mentioned with the Mets, is the Mets have completely choked away
the Reds,
their
the Rally Reds are
their
coming
chance
back.
to go to the playoffs, and that's awesome because I hate the Mets till the day I die. And the Reds have been kind of that team fighting for that last spot, so we kind of hear it with some of our guys. They're all huge Red fans.
Yep.
To answer your question, though, I think the Braves, we'll be fine. This year, unfortunately, was just a year from hell. The past couple years have been years
Such
from
a
hell.
slow start and then injuries.
I think, Hassan Kim. Jake is really high on Hassan Kim too.
Before the season started, I said
Yeah.
that the Braves should
You did. And then
now
when
he's
you
on
got
the
the
phone,
notification, you were like, look, he's on our team now. I told you. And he's been hitting the ball very well. It's something we've missed from that position to where normally we've
That's
just
why
kind
you got
of...
rid of Arcia.
That's why we got rid of Arcia. And then Nick Allen was really good defensively, but he couldn't hit the ball to save his life.
He didn't have a single home run all
He-
season.
No home
Yes.
Hassan Kim's already got like 5.
Yeah, so I think to have
Yeah.
some more pop at that position, kind
Yeah.
of like, back when we had Dansby Swanson, when we won the
Yeah.
World Series, that'll be nice. It's going to be, interesting to see, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
good
Braves,
defensive,
we will
good
see.
hitter.
I think get some of our pitching back, spend some more money. We've got a good quality. I think Profar really came back after his suspension
Yeah.
and played good.
Probably gonna need to test him again.
Yeah, probably. I will always have a little bit of hope because I think, naturally we still are one of the best teams in baseball. It just kind of didn't show the past couple of years.
No.
So
Okay, guys, last question. And this is probably going to be a little bit controversial because you kind of alluded to this. So I want to talk about who I think should be in the talks as a possible MVP. And it's Baker Mayfield. Now, listen, I know it's early. In 3 weeks, he literally has had 3 game-winning drives with 2 minutes or under, like 2 minutes, 7 seconds, and then the other 2 were under 2 minutes. He literally did it against the Falcons 23-20, the Texans 20-19. What happened with the Jets at the end of that game, the way he got the ball, it was like 10 plays, they go down, they score. You gotta consider this. I realize he doesn't have the big yards. He has 615 yards, 6 touchdowns, but no interceptions.
Yeah, that's the
He's
biggest
actually
part.
rushed for 116 yards, which is more than like his last 2 full seasons combined. I think he's on a tear. I think he should at least be in the, if you're going to consider Arch Manning for frickin' the Heisman this early in the college, then you better put Baker at least in the conversation for what he's done.
Yeah.
And Doss, I disagree with you. You said, I don't care about the come from bullshit. Game-winning drives, 3 in a row. That's freaking Tom Brady land right
what
there.
do you mean I don't care about that?
Well, you said that earlier when
No,
you were
no, no, I
talking
was
about
talking about
you're talking
Jalen
about
Hurts. Like,
Jalen,
I
and I
do-
get it, but I mean, I'd take those 3 if he does this 3 or 4 more times this season. Those
crazy.
wins are on him.
Yeah, so
They are.
my only knock on that is look at the teams that he had to beat in the last minute of the game.
Falcons and Texans.
Falcons and the
aren't necessarily great
Texans
teams right now.
aren't great
I
teams right
get
Neither
it.
now.
are the Jets.
Neither are the Jets. You were playing Tyrod Taylor. So that'd be my only knock is
But he is doing it without Godwin. Mike Evans just got hurt too.
But
Really
as you
just
know, the
Ibuka.
final 2 minutes of a game, it is tough.
I completely agree.
And
So
for
that's
what-
why I'm saying
it's
the only
impressive.
little knock that I would say is you shouldn't be having to do that against those types of teams to where
Which
all of a
isn't
sudden
necessarily on him.
no, it's
'cause the
not.
defense-
You've been able to come up clutch for your team. So I do agree with you that he should be in the conversation for MVP.
I think
Well,
he's
and
top
I
five
did you
right
see
now.
the sidelines
100%.
when he went into his receiver? And he's like, "Don't you disrespect
Oh,
that guy
yeah,
with a one-handed catch."
But
Put your hands
again,
on
though,
that
that's
ball.
why I'll
So
say
funny.
that's why people like Baker and want I want him as my
Yes.
quarterback
Oh, yeah.
because he's fun. He does stuff like that over a guy like Jalen Hurts to where they score that touchdown at the end of the game and he doesn't have any reaction at all.
So funny.
And he just walks and is just like, sweet, well, we won the game.
Well, did you know why he did
I'm gonna go
that?
take a shower
After the game, he walked up to Jordan Davis and he goes, "I knew y'all were gonna make that play. I saw the two Georgia boys lined up middle, and I was like, they about to make a play."
I wish he would just show some of that.
Yeah, he did after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, a little emotion would be good.
I hope so.
Did Brady ever show emotion like that?
Yeah, go back and look at the videos.
I think
In
he
the
really
regular
Did you not?
I think
okay.
so, yes.
Yeah.
Especially after
How about
touchdown.
when Malcolm Butler made that interception?
No, but I'm saying
The first
in
person
like,
he looks for is his offensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm saying is like they've been there before. They're not necessarily worried about. Yeah, it was a great win, but like I would argue that when Brady, after he had already won his first Super Bowl in the chain of like three, the second iteration of three, but I do think you beat a team like that in the regular season, he's probably just like, great, we won, on to the next.
I hear you, but at the same time, though, you're a human, and when something like that happens,
Maybe he's not.
maybe he's not. Like you were this close to losing that game. I mean, show a little bit of something. But
Man, act like you've been there.
But my whole take on comparing like Baker to Jalen Hurts is this is why people gravitate
Well,
towards Baker.
and think
Yeah.
about like the end of someone's career when you look back on all of it when you're 60 years old and you're like, wow, that was great. You only got to play in so many games in your whole life. Like enjoy, like it's pretty special. Like celebrate your damn touchdowns.
Well, I mean,
And I think
celebrate
he
the
did.
wins.
I think he does, and I truly think he does.
Think about
it's
Jalen
just
Hurts'
all kind
path,
of
though.
behind closed doors.
Well, think about Jalen Hurts' path. And yeah, that's probably it. I guarantee you he's a completely different person in the locker room.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, he played on Alabama. He went to national championships over and over. He was coached by Saban. He left Alabama to start his own like arc and go to Oklahoma. Damn near won the Heisman. If he didn't, I can't remember. But goes straight, earns his spot, takes it away from a starting quarterback who got hurt, and never looks back. And so I think he's got probably one of the biggest chips on his shoulder.
He's like Batman. Like
Yes.
it's just like stone cold. Just
Which he called. They got strong Batman. They've got small Batman. Skinny Batman is Devontae Smith,
Yeah.
and then fat Batman was Jason Kelsey back then.
no. Baker I think should be in the MVP category.
At least in the conversation.
At least in the
Yes.
conversation.
Oh, he's
For
top
3
five.
weeks in. For 3 weeks in right now, if I was going to give an MVP
Him and
to a
Daniel
quarterback,
Jones.
Him and
Him and
Daniel
Daniel
Jones.
Oh, yeah, like
and
you-
Josh
like
Allen.
it would be a-
Hurts. I just because
Yeah.
he hasn't made mistakes.
I'd
Hurts
say
has been
Herbert-
he'd have to be in the conversation.
Herbert, Baker, Josh Allen, who Hurts and
Daniel
who-
Jones.
and Daniel
Daniel
Jones.
Jones.
That'd be my 5 right now.
Yeah, I think that's
Yep.
a good list.
Okay, guys, listen, that's fourth and long for this week.
Nice
That's
job.
what I got.
Nicely done.